Well, James, thank you very much for joining me. It's great
Nice
to
to
be
meet
here. And it's been very cool to check out your story. It's pretty inspiring.
Thank you.
So to kick this off, Oompher is all about inspiring people to achieve extraordinary things. So who and what during your life and career has inspired you?
I think the main people that have inspired me lately are actually the people that I treat going through cancer. You know, they have a really rough time often, and I'm really inspired by their resilience, their strength, and their courage, and it really changes often their direction that they want to take their life. They realise what's not important anymore, and they really start focusing on what's important. And I find that really, really inspiring.
It must be pretty inspiring to work with these people, you know, because they are obviously going through a really hard time, and to see people pick themselves back up must be pretty humbling.
Yeah, and their attitudes are great. You know, like often it's really easy to complain about all the negative things that happen in your day, but I think lots of the people that are going through these tough times have amazing attitudes, and they just get on with it, and they focus on the good things. And I think it's the focusing on the good things and the important things in life that make them enjoy their life more.
Yeah, and what about starting the foundation Pinc and Steel? I mean, who was did you have some mentors, business mentors or anything like that that helped you get it off the ground?
Not really. I think I had lots of support around me. I think New Zealand is a great country to start something new, because if you tell people about your idea or you tell people about your dreams and passions, people are generally wanting to help. So I did, you know, I had close people around me, and I told them about my vision of helping people and about how I found it really unfair that cancer patients in New Zealand weren't getting the treatment that other people were getting, like our sports stars and other people. And I think the more people I told, the more people sort of got in behind and backed me, really.
Yeah, and tell me about how your journey as a physiotherapist began.
Well, as a physio, I was actually mainly working with sports stars, and then I started seeing an increasing number of people that had been affected by cancer, and I couldn't believe how, one, harsh the treatments were on them and how it had affected them, and two, the lack of knowledge and support that they had around their recovery. You know, lots of the treatments are curing cancer now, which is fantastic. People are living longer, but they are left with such harsh side effects that can affect them, you know, for years, and affect every aspect of their life. It can affect their families, it can affect their ability to go back to work, it can affect their enjoyment of their quality of life, going back to the sports and things they love. So that really inspired me to find out more how I could help this group of patients.
Yeah, and did you always have a desire? Have you always had a desire to help people?
Yeah, I think from a really young age I wanted to be a nurse or work in the medical profession, so I think I always really wanted to help people. But I think as I've got older, I find it really rewarding when you can help people that really need it and they appreciate it.
And tell us more about Pinc and Steel. I mean, we talked about, I guess, why you decided to create it, but how does it work, and when did you start it and so on?
So basically, as a physio, I was able to help one cancer patient every hour, and maximum of about 8 to 10 patients per day. And so I developed these cancer rehabilitation programs for people, and now I teach other physiotherapists around the world to do it. So we were able to facilitate the help of 200, 300 patients a day. So that's what's really inspired me to do this work. And so physiotherapists are trained all the effects that the cancer treatments can have on people and how they can help individual people. So cancer is quite a big topic. There's about 100 different types of cancer, so it's not an easy thing to teach someone, but we have a certification program. I have other experts that help me, and it's really been really effective.
Yeah, so you record videos and stuff and send them around to help train people? Is that how it works? So you have programs written up and...
Yeah, so I've developed 4 different programs though, actually. One's a program specifically to women, and it's for physios working with women cancer patients. Another one's for men, so men and women have different types of cancers, and that has different effects. I've also designed a paddleboarding rehab program recently, cool. and a program which includes Pilates, yoga and steps. So what I've found is that the cancer affects people in different ways and at different stages of their recovery. So the programs target those things, and my training of the physios teaches physios to help patients in those different phases of recovery. So I do a lot of webinars now, because I'm training physios around the world, where we have time where the physios can talk to other physios and discuss it. We also have created quite a big network of cancer rehab physios. So we're the first real cancer rehab physio group in the world. It's not even
Yeah.
not even a recognised skill in our physiotherapy profession.
Okay.
So I've created this network of groups so we can all help each other.
Okay, and tell me a bit more about, some of the stories that for you have been the most rewarding, from seeing people come in a mess to leaving sort of back on their feet.
There's actually lots of different types of stories, really. I think one that springs to mind is a young guy who had head and neck cancer, and he had a 50% chance of surviving the operation. It was a 9-hour operation, and they cut down his face and opened up the side of his face and took out all the cancer. And after that, he was in intensive care for a number of days, and then went home, and instead of just recovering, they then hammered his body with chemotherapy for 6 months, and then radiation therapy. So that at the end of it, and he couldn't even speak. He had to have a trachea tube in. He was fed through a tube in his stomach, and he made a goal to himself that he was going to run an event that he'd run before he got diagnosed with cancer. And he ended up starting his training during his treatment. He was so determined that he was going to get his body right, and ended up, I think it was about a year after his diagnosis, he ran this event that he had planned he was going to do. So there's lots and lots of inspirational stories like that, where people have overcome big odds and followed their dreams and been able to do things. And I think once you've had cancer, people often have a real loss of confidence in their bodies. So by able to do something, you gain a lot of that confidence back.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit about your advice. I mean, what's your advice for young people wanting to get into physio?
I think in New Zealand there's 2 schools for physiotherapy, but there's obviously schools all over the world, and I think lots of people, particularly in New Zealand, get into physio because they want to do sports physio, but there is lots of actually different types of physio. People only really probably hear about sports physios because they're on the news, but there's lots of different types. I think it's reasonably hard to get into. You just have, like anything, I think if you've got a dream, go for it, and study hard and make a plan and and apply, basically.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and through the Do Your Thing program, I mean, AMP is helping New Zealanders create their tomorrow, and I think it's a fantastic program, and obviously you've been involved with that. So what do you think made your thing unique to the judging panel?
I think that's one of the great things about AMP's ambassador program, is that it does help a wide range of people with different skill sets, and different passions to do their thing. I think maybe mine was unique because there is quite a gap, I think, in the care of people with cancer, and a lot of people actually didn't know about it. So by helping me help raise the awareness and the exposure of cancer rehab, instead of helping one person, they can actually help a lot of people have brighter futures. So the more people that are aware that they can actually get help after they've had cancer, the more likely is that they will thrive after cancer instead of just surviving.
Yeah. So what's your advice to someone who's looking at applying for a Do Your Thing scholarship?
My advice is basically what I've learned from treating people with cancer. It's don't wait till you have a life-threatening illness till you do it. Make your plan and and do it. Yeah.
And what was the biggest opportunity that your Do Your Thing scholarship allowed you to do?
I think being associated with such a big, powerful brand as AMP is wonderful and provides a lot of opportunities. My biggest problem was lack of exposure. So since I've won my AMP award, I haven't ever heard the words, "How can I help?" so much. It's really been fantastic since I won the award last year. So many people have said, "Wow, what you're doing is really great. How can we help?" So that's been the biggest help for me.
Okay, cool. And for you personally, I mean, what does success look like for doing your thing?
I think success for me is, as I said, when I was a physiotherapist working in my own practice in Auckland, I was helping maybe 8 to 10 patients a day. And for me, success is helping hundreds of patients all over the world every day, and AMP is actually helping me achieve that worldwide dream by increasing the exposure so that we can help more patients survive and have brighter futures after cancer.
Yeah, and with helping so many people across the world, I mean, what makes New Zealand such a good place to do that from?
I think actually New Zealanders punch above their weight in a lot of industries worldwide.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's because we're so geographically far away from everyone that we just give it a go and have a go. And I think maybe we do actually have really supportive people that genuinely want to help others. So yeah, as I said, ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and just before we get into our quick fire questions to finish off, I mean, what's next for you? Have you got you continuing to grow this program throughout the world?
Yeah, my goals really are to extend more into the UK and Canada and English-speaking countries, and so I'm doing quite a bit of work on extending my exposure into those regions. In New Zealand, we're trying to raise more money so that we can help New Zealanders. With cancer rehab, there's no health system support or ACC in New Zealand, so we're doing a lot more on trying to raise funds, and developing more programs to help more people, really.
So I've just got a few quick fire questions to finish off. In summary, I mean, what's your top bits of advice for people who are wanting to become physiotherapists?
I think don't be put off. If someone doesn't think that you can be a physio, don't get put off by someone else. If you're really passionate about it and you've got the drive to do it, I think you can actually do anything. So don't be put off. If you're passionate about it, follow your dreams.
Cool. And you told a cool story about one of your friends.
Yes, one of my friends recently has just become a pilot for Air New Zealand, and I asked her, she's my age, and I asked her, why didn't you do that when you left school? And she said, actually my form teacher told me that I couldn't be a pilot. And she said, I don't know why I listened to her, but I did. And she obviously could have become a pilot. So don't let someone that doesn't know you very well tell you can't do something. I think if you really want to do something, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking back over your whole career, I mean, what would you summarise as the thing that you're probably most proud of so far?
I think I've actually always followed my own path. I haven't actually followed any traditional path that other physios follow, and there was no cancer rehab division in physiotherapy, but I thought there was a need, so I kind of created it. So I think the thing I'm most proud of is really that I've just followed my passion, and to the best of my ability I've done it as best I can.
Yeah, and is there anything differently you'd do if you were starting out again?
Not stress so much.
Yeah.
I think I think you learn. I mean, that's the whole thing. You learn as you go, and I think experience is the best teacher. And sometimes you learn the lessons after you've done it. But as long as you make those mistakes and you learn from them, then it's not really a problem. It's really just helping you, get further and further ahead.
Yeah, and just finally, I mean, to summarise before, just in regards to the Do Your Thing program, I mean, what would you say would be, if you had to sort of give 1 or 2 or 3 tips for people who are thinking about applying but maybe haven't quite made that step yet, what would you say to them?
I think, don't wait, apply. I think don't be put off that you don't think your thing is as good as someone else's thing. I think if you're passionate about it, and if you've got drive to do it, apply for an AMP scholarship. It can be such a huge help. It's certainly helped me in my thing and doing what I love. So just apply.
Yeah, fantastic. And what would the 16-year-old girl you were think if he had become today?
Oh my God. When I was 16, I was on a farm with 4 brothers, and I never wore a skirt, so I've got a skirt on. I think I've changed somewhat. I think I've been able to achieve a lot more than I ever thought. I mean, it's amazing that I'm able to teach physios in other countries. So I think, dream big, basically.
Yeah.
You never know how far you can go until you actually start working towards it.
Okay. Is that the main advice you would give your 16-year-old self? Is there anything else you'd say to that person?
I think have faith in yourself. I think all of us have a lack of confidence about things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you just have to have faith and trust that you can handle it, and put yourself out there. I mean, there's lots of situations I've been in which I have thought, this makes me nervous, or I don't think I can cope. But if you just put yourself out there, have a bit of faith, I mean, you can achieve a lot more than I think you actually think you can achieve.
Yeah, okay. Right, so to finish off, Lou, can you please look down this camera here and tell us what are your wise words for the young people of New Zealand?
My wise words are to follow your passions, don't let people put you off, have some grit and resilience, and work hard and fly.
Awesome. Lou, thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Awesome.